Hello, class 8. Welcome back to your English class. Today, we are going to learn a prose lesson. Sir Isaac Newton, the ingenious scientist. Before starting the lesson of Sir Isaac Newton, let us see the glossary. Ingenuity means the ability to invent things or creativity. The word contrived means created or invented. The word apprentice means works for someone to learn skill. The word acquiring means getting knowledge or skill. The word freed means investigated. The word hopper means funnel shaped bins for feeding grains into mills. Let us read the lesson. Section 1. On Christmas Day in the year 1642, Isaac Newton was born at the small village of Woolsthorpe in England. Little did his mother think, when she beheld a newborn babe, that he was destined to explain many matters which had been a mystery ever since the creation of the world. Isaac's father being dead, Mrs. Newton was married again to a clergyman and went to reside at North with him. Isaac was left to the care of his old good grandma, who was very kind to him and sent him to school. In his early years, Isaac was chiefly remarkable for his ingenuity in all mechanical occupations. He had a set of little tools and saws of various sizes, manufactured by himself. With the aid of these, Isaac contrived to make many curious articles at which he worked with so much skill that he seemed to have been born with a saw or chisel in his hand. Let me explain the para. Sir Isaac Newton was born on Christmas Day in the year 1642. He was born in a small village of Woolsthorpe in England. His father died at his young age, and his mother got married to a clergyman, and so he was left under the care of his good old grandmother, who was very kind to him. In his early years, Isaac was chiefly remarkable for his ingenuity in all mechanical operations. He was so much fond of saw and chisel that he seemed to have been born with a saw or chisel in his hand. Let us continue. The neighbors looked with vast admiration at the things which Isaac manufactured, and his old grandmother, I suppose, was very weary of talking about him. He'll make a capital workman one of these days, she would probably say. No fear but what Isaac will do well in the world and be a rich man before he dies. Some of his friends no doubt advised Isaac's grandmother to apprentice him to a clockmaker, for besides his mechanical skill, the boy seemed to have a taste for mathematics, which would be very useful to him in that profession. And then, in due time, Isaac would set up for himself and would manufacture curious clocks, like those that contain sets of dancing figures which issue from the dial plate when the hour is struck, or like those where a ship sails across the face of the clock, and is seen tossing up and down on the waves as often as a pendulum vibrates. Let us continue. Indeed, there was some ground for suppose that Isaac would devote himself to the manufacture of clocks, since he had already made one of a kind which nobody had ever heard of before. It was set going not by wheels and weights like other clocks, but by the dropping of water. This was an object of great wonderment to all the people in the neighborhood, and it must be confessed that there are few boys, or men either, who would contrive to tell what o'clock it is by means of a bowl of water. Let me explain the paragraph. This paragraph says that Sir Isaac Newton had prepared a clock which was not like any other clock. It was indeed a different one. It was run by the dropping of water. This was an object of great wonderment to the people who were surrounded there, his neighborhoods. And so definitely people saw him in a great manner. So let us continue the lesson in the next class. Thanks for watching.